And speaking of family, we're going to transition into something we've never done here before. Your family.
Yeah, my family.
And so, if you know this podcast, you know we have a Drake consultant. Dash brother, Josh, is our Drake consultant. And so we're going to transition and do something we've never done before. It may look a little different. It may sound a little different. Just, bear with us. We're doing different stuff to try to give y'all a better, more entertaining experience. And so we're going to discuss Drake's new album, For All the Dogs, with our Drake correspondent.
Yep. Well,
It's time.
it has finally happened. Drake's album has finally been released.
Yep. Oh, these shouldn't be on.
I didn't believe it was coming out. I thought he was gonna wait until his birthday week, honestly.
Which that'd have been cheesy.
Which is at the end of the month, but he is cheesy, so But we have, our
Drake correspondent.
Our Drake correspondent here in the flesh, sort of.
What's going on? What's going on? Oh, balloons? I didn't do that.
I didn't do it either.
Okay, all right. Well,
where's the balloons come from?
I don't know, but that was a nice little fun intro with those balloons. Thank you. I feel really welcomed.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's because you clapped.
That's interesting. Yeah. Or maybe when I did this. No, I don't. That was weird. But,
that was so weird.
I've never seen that before.
Listen, I'll take. It's not flowers, but I'll take my balloons. I'll take my balloons. Yeah, I'll take my balloons.
Right.
Yeah.
Take your balloons.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Drake's album is out. Have we all heard it?
Yes.
I have heard it. I listened to it a few times since it's dropped, and
Same.
I got some thoughts.
I've listened to it about 1.3 times.
1.3. So that means one time,
okay.
And then one more song.
A couple songs.
You heard the J. Cole song twice. That's what it was.
I heard the J. Cole song twice. I heard the Bad Bunny song twice.
You listened to that twice?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that to yourself?
I shouldn't have, but I did.
That was a bad idea.
And when the Sexy Red song came on, I actually played it again because I was trying to decide how I felt about it.
That's the song you need to replay. That's the song. Spoiler alert, I think that's probably the best song on the album. But
really?
I think that's probably, at least from a commercial perspective, I think that's the best song on the album.
Okay, that I can see.
Yeah.
Because they're really, and I guess let's start.
Let's just jump into it.
To me, I want to start by giving Drake props. I'm going to hate myself for this later, but I got to be what Fox 5 used to say, fair and balanced. They never were. And that's my my little thing, but
Fair and balanced.
I make fun of Drake a lot for being a pop artist and not a rapper. And there's no pop songs on this album. So I gotta give him props for putting together a non-pop album.
Go Drake.
I mean, I gotta start with that because I always give him a hard time. I always come up here and say he's not a rapper, he's a pop star, and he didn't do the pop star stuff. So, there's no Hotline Bling.
I mean, I guess, then I have to ask you, do you think Rich Baby Daddy's not a pop song? Because, maybe not the title of it is a pop song, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it's like a mix between, dance, but then I feel like if it, pop, it's an umbrella term for just popular. And I feel like, I honestly, I feel like that should have been the lead single, not Slime You Out. And I feel like that has a very, very, very big chance of going far. I think that could be, the song that might put him over with, beating Michael Jackson if he pushes it enough. So I kind of look at that as a pop
it's
song.
the only song with mainstream appeal. So,
yeah.
I mean, would I call it pop? No. It's a club record, sure, but I don't think it's pop. I think Hotline Bling is pop. What was the left foot stomp, right foot, whatever?
Tootsie Slide.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are the records, you know. Those type of records are the ones that he clearly makes for the pop audience.
gotcha,
And
gotcha. I see where you're
I
going.
don't think there was any of those this time. I think this time it was something else, but it
I
wasn't
can see
pop.
that. Yeah,
Rich Baby Daddy is not for me, but
What we're just asking,
I get it.
we're just asking, do you think it's pop? That's the first.
No, no, but I'm giving my opinion
Oh, okay.
of the thing, and I did play. I do recall when I played it back. I kind
hmm
of did a little shimmy or something to it. So it's
hmm
definitely something that's gonna make people dance
Yeah.
and have a good time.
absolutely.
It's something that can play in the club. It's something you can play in your car. So I understand the appeal of it. I just, for me, I was just like, I don't know that I'd listen to this again. But
Let me tell you. What was it? Friday when this dropped.
uh
I wake up in the morning, about to go to the gym. I turn on Breakfast Club. I
so
hear Charlemagne and Envy,
uh
and then I just hear this record, and I don't even know what it is yet. And I'm like, I haven't heard it before. It's probably from Drake's album. And I just, I'm hearing the beat go off and everything, and then of course, like Envy's doing it to, play around with Charlemagne, and of course, like I don't see it because it's on the radio, but I already know like Charlemagne's dancing to it, and I was already thinking like, all right, this is gonna be the thing that they're gonna push because just because of how much of how a good bop to it.
hmm
Like everybody's gonna play it on the radio. Like all the girls are playing it. My girlfriend didn't even know about it at first, and I started playing. She's like, "Yo, wait, Josh, what's that song?" I'm like, "Rich Baby Daddy." I got you right now. So I think it's gonna go far. I really do.
I agree with that.
Also, it's sexy red, so it's
I
gonna
was
go far.
waiting. I was like,
It's
God's
sexy
favorite
red,
girl.
So it's gonna go far. I think she's doing really well, and I think that Drake having her on the album, smart. It's similar to what he was doing with what was that song with the Kiki? Do you love me? And I think that
Uh,
was with
yeah,
that had a little bit of City Girls on it.
yeah,
So in my feelings, yeah.
yeah.
So I think Drake knows what he's doing when he gets the girls. Like
He
he gets
does.
someone on his song, and just make a song, a clip song for all the women, and you got it.
He does. He
But
does.
he doesn't know what to do with SZA features.
I didn't mind this as a feature on Rich Baby Daddy though. Slime You Out. I like Slime You Out, but I don't think that was a really good pairing with both of them. I like SZA on Rich Baby Daddy, but I also feel like Rich Baby Daddy doesn't need to be a Drake song. Like I feel like that could be anybody else's. I feel like that could just be Sexy Red and SZA, and it was
Right.
fine. So I didn't really feel like the combination of Drake and SZA was good. If you mean it like that. But
I
like,
think I think on I think on Rich Baby Daddy, SZA didn't really add anything. I mean, it was
okay.
cool that she was there, but
Hmm.
the record was already the record. Now
Right, right.
I think on what is it, Slime
Slime
You
you out.
Out?
Yeah,
I
Slime
think
You
on
Out.
Slime You Out, she makes the record.
I agree. I agree
Yeah,
with
I
that.
think if you take SZA off Slime You Out, it's a skip. I mean, for
Right.
me, it's a skip as soon as her verse ends. But
I do like I usually want to rush to the SZA feature on that song, and it's not that I hate Drake's verse on it, but yeah, I prefer just going straight to SZA's verse, and it's not even that long.
no, her verse is not that long. All
Yeah.
right, let's take a
Is
step back.
okay.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, no. Come
Well, I
on.
was gonna ask a question. I was gonna say, is there a song? Is there a standout on the album?
I
Uh,
Baby Daddy is one of them for
Okay.
sure. I think
yeah.
it's to me it stands out the most because it's the only mainstream record. One can
Right.
argue the not Daddy Yankee. What's his name?
Bad Bunny.
Bad
Bad
Bunny.
Bunny.
New Daddy Yankee. Sorry. Uh, Bad Bunny. One can argue that's a mainstream song, but it's really not.
First of all, I don't ever want to hear Drake rap in Spanish.
I didn't want to say it, you know.
Uh, I mean, look, I know some people who like Bad Bunny. I'm not against Bad Bunny. It's just not for me.
Well,
It's just
Bad
not for
Bunny
me.
is the number one streamed artist in the world, period.
Right. So
So
this
it's
is
a
like,
smart feature, but it's
yeah.
also like a waste of a feature.
I would rather listen to Bad Bunny by himself than listen to Bad Bunny with Drake.
But it's just not. It was like Drake did whatever he did in the beginning. Then he actually did something to the
Hmm.
real beat. Then Bad
Hmm.
Bunny did something, and it ends. It's not even a full like. You would think if Josh is putting together an album and Josh says, "Hey, I got a Bad Bunny feature," you would think, "Oh, this is the big record.
Right.
This is the record we're
No.
pushing. This is the one that we're gonna try to break the streaming numbers with."
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean,
Oh, that would make sense. I didn't care for it. I heard it. I said, what is this? And then I had to put two and two together, like, oh, this must be the Bad Bunny song. So I stayed and I
Yeah.
listened. And then I was like, no. No, because again, what Bad Bunny did was nothing different from what he normally does. So I feel like if you looking for Bad Bunny, you could just go directly to him. You don't need to find him through Drake. And then I don't know
Right.
what Drake was saying, and I didn't care. I wasn't into it. I don't. I know he's trying things. Like I know he's experimenting. I don't think
Hmm.
he's done that before. Maybe he has.
No, he has.
Or he
He
has.
has. There was a song with some guy who was big at the time, Romeo Santos. That was
hey,
a that was a
hey, hey,
big
hey,
big thing.
hey! Watch your mouth, Josh. They will cancel you. You
Oh, did
cannot
I?
say that guy is big at that time. I
Oh, is
don't
he still
even
big?
listen to his. Listen,
Oh,
I'm just
all
trying to
right.
help you out, brother. I don't want them to cancel you.
I mean, yeah, no,
Romeo
I don't want to get canceled.
Santos is the Bad Bunny of his world.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
mean, look, I accept it. I'm not gonna deny it. I don't know anything about that world. I have a couple friends who like Bad Bunny. I'm gonna go to them and see if they even like this song. I don't know. Like this song for me is just like, okay, I see why you did it. Um, cool. Not for me. Like I don't even know if it's good or not. Like I have to go to somebody else who listens to Bad Bunny to really tell me like if this what they were waiting for. Were they waiting for a Drake and Bad Bunny to link up and make something like this? To me, I don't really know.
I don't listen to enough Bad Bunny. There's one Bad Bunny song that I really like, and that's it. And I heard it on vacation, and I don't know if
Mm,
people think it's good. I think I said that to you one day. I was like, I don't know if it's a good Bad Bunny song. I just know that I like it. So I am also
mm,
not the person who would be able to say this is good or this is not. I just knew that I didn't really care for that from Drake. Um, that's not why I showed up to the party. So
makes sense.
But wait, you didn't answer your own question. Was there a
is there a
standout?
standout?
I mean, I don't think any of us answered it actually. We just
Um,
immediately went to what should be the standout.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you. The only thing for me that was super memorable was the Sexy Red song. I mean, standout, I guess, is meant to be a positive thing.
Hmm.
But I will say that the other two things that I remember specifically are the interlude. I forget what it's called right now, but the
Oh, BBL love.
is that what it's called? The one with If I Rule the World?
Oh, no, no, no. That one's a Screw the World. It's a chopped and screwed for I Run the World.
Yeah, I'm not really a chopped and screwed like I'm not really a chopped and screwed girly, and I know there's a section
Hmm.
of there's a region of the country that is really into that, so
Hmm.
maybe that's great for them. I wasn't really into it, and I kind of felt like it was a waste of that beat. Um, and then the other thing that stuck out to me was the final song. I was listening to it and I was doing other
Mm.
things, and I honestly did not know that this was the last song. But all I know is that I looked up at one point. It was like, okay, he's whining, and I just was ready to turn it off, not realizing that it was the last song on the album.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
I don't want to say that I didn't like the album because I feel like
Hmm.
that's the direction I'm going in
Hmm.
with all my takes.
Well, be careful because he might respond to you.
I'm not trying to say I didn't like the album. I thought it
Yeah.
was okay.
He might tell you you take first class flights on occasion.
Yeah,
No,
You can't be
no,
doing that.
special occasions.
and he's absolutely
Special
right.
occasion, yes.
He's absolutely right. I'm not on private jets. I'm definitely not.
You're not on the
flying
PJ?
first class. Yeah, no, that's not my life at all. At all. He can say whatever he wants about me because honestly, it's probably true. out to me. There was one song that I can't remember that I do think I liked. I just can't remember it right now, which is honestly, I feel like this is the first time I've listened to a Drake album, or maybe not the first time. Maybe that's a little too aggressive.
Hmm.
But I feel like there was a time where I used to remember the songs that I heard from a Drake album. I feel like I could call it out, even though it was new. I feel like I could call it out and say, oh my gosh, did you hear Keep the
Hmm.
Family Close? Did you hear 5 a.m. and wherever? Because there's so many of them, I can't remember all the names. But
Hmm.
I
New
can't
York.
really, I didn't really feel that way with this. I kind of felt like it was like a standard Drake album. Like it was okay.
I feel you.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
What were the standouts for you?
Um, so I have takeaways, which that's a much longer list. I only have like 10 songs that I think I'm taking away from this album. So that's less than half of the
Okay,
album because it's about 23
three songs.
tracks on it. But the standout, I'm gonna give it to two. That's Rich Baby Daddy and First Person Shooter with Cole. That's an absolute standout. Absolute. And Cole murdered Drake on this album. Like that was it's
Yeah.
what Eminem did to Hove on Renegade. Like it's not even a contest. I think that particular song, I think it's probably well, I mean, I guess if you're gonna compare it to being like the most rapidy rap song, it's probably gonna be between First Person Shooter and 8 a.m. in Charlotte. But I still prefer First Person Shooter over that one, over the timestamp record, and that's mainly because Cole did his thing. I think Drake heard it after he got the verse back, and he was like, "Yo, let me go back and put this last verse on the end," and it still wasn't that good. I mean, I get you talking about you one song away from beating Michael, cool, but I just wasn't feeling the third verse. I think his first verse was a lot better. But again, like Cole did his thing. I wish that Drake and Kendrick weren't really having whatever tiff because Cole's talking about it's the big three. They talking about the big three, K Dot, Cole, and Aubrey. Like it should be that. It would have been a moment in hip hop to have Kendrick on
Yeah.
that same track.
Yeah.
It would have been a huge moment.
I think
Like
that
that's something from like I grew up with them because what was it when I was in college, I think that's when they all started coming up. So like if I could have had that moment with all three of them, because I don't think they ever did that before, that
No.
would have been a nice moment. But whatever it is between Drake and Kendrick, they doing like these weird little shots back and forth. So it is what it is. But those are my two standouts: is First Person Shooter and Rich Baby Daddy.
Okay. For me, it's just the Cole record. And
Okay.
I'm going to call it what it is, a Cole record.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you ever heard American Dreamin', which is Jeezy featuring Cole and Kendrick.
Hmm.
But this was like part two of that record lyrically, and I'll
Hmm.
elaborate.
Okay.
On American Dreamin', Jeezy starts the record, and there's a hook.
Hmm.
And then Cole comes and does what Cole does, some long ass holy shit verse,
Hmm.
and then the hook comes, and then well, now you're excited because well, it's time for Kendrick to rap, right?
Hmm.
No, Kendrick doesn't rap. He sings like a bridge, and then the record
Hmm.
ends. And
Okay.
that's what this was. Drake didn't show up on his song. It's Cole's song. Drake did
Yeah.
like a hook, and they say they were together in the studio. So
Yeah, I heard
that
that.
they mentioned that more than once on the song. They say they were together recording this song, making history, blah, blah, blah.
they were besties making music together.
Right. You know, he said, me and Drake are the Spider Man meme.
Yeah, that, and
And
that's the thing.
uh,
It would have been cool if Drake came out and actually, gave
attempted
something really
something.
nice. Yeah, but I feel like in that moment, at least, it wasn't deserved.
And that's my problem with the record. I wish this record didn't exist
Mm,
because we keep hearing the big three. Everyone keeps
mm,
saying it in podcasting, on TV. They all keep saying it in their rhymes.
mm,
Sometimes Wale and Meek are included. Sometimes they're not. But it's usually these three guys. And everyone
Hmm.
says, hey, I'm number one. And every time we have two of them together, for some reason, one guy just doesn't want to show up anymore. And so if Cole is number one, that's perfectly fine with me. But then we don't need this record.
I'm gonna disagree on that. I think this record is still. I think this record is. I don't know if I would say it's needed, but it felt good because I think what the last record they did together was in the morning. I mean, that was a long time ago. That was
No, there's another one. It's on
oh, it's on
that,
Dark
that
Lane
project
demo.
with all the stuff that was in the stash. All the
Yeah, Dark
mixtape
Lane demo
stuff.
tapes.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. There was that one, and that one was cool, but that was also like that entire project was just throwaways. It was Lucy's. Like I actually had a lot of those songs like in
Yeah.
the tuck.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of leaked songs that he just put out.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, we can count that, but I mean, I really enjoyed this one again, mostly because of Cole. I think that it was still good to just put something else on wax. Um, it's just to me, I think that it was a real missed opportunity to have Kendrick. Like like didn't Ross do the same thing? I think it was Ross, Hove, and somebody else. I think it was Three Kings. I think that was the name of the
Dr.
track.
Dre.
Yeah, and Dr. Dre. So like, I mean, I feel like this should have been another Three Kings. I feel like this should have been hell. They could have called this the Big Three, and that would have been fly.
Yeah,
But
Kendrick and Cole
uh,
don't fuck with each other. I mean, excuse me. Kendrick and Drake don't fuck with each other.
yeah, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Yeah.
It's just again like that. That's just in my world of man. This would be super nice if they could do it. I'm sure Cole has tried to facilitate some talk somewhere. But I don't even think Drake acknowledged Kendrick in that same song. Like Cole said what he was
Drake
saying,
also
but
just didn't say much on the record, period.
that
Until
is
he
true.
changed the beat and the topic.
Yeah, that is true. And
Which is why
I
I'm
think that
like,
was to like get bet. I think that was just him trying to make up for what Cole did. He was like, "Oh shit!" Like Cole's coming with something hot, and then he still did it. So
yeah. He's like, hey, 40, what else you got back there? Because
yeah,
now that Cole left, you got something else? Yeah.
no, I agree.
For me, that was the only standout. I say all the time, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's always nice to hear J. Cole. It just.
I mean, listen,
Yeah,
it was the same as the verse on, what is it, Yachty's record?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. He had a verse on Yachty's record. Cole has been killing shit. Like every time
yeah,
Cole steps on a track, he's just been killing it.
yeah,
I'm a big fan of Jermaine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. And so,
yeah. Especially that Rolling Loud
in the
Joe
rain,
did in the rain. It was great. It was just great. It was phenomenal.
Oh,
I could watch that any day of the week. Just
I haven't seen it.
oh, you gotta
you
watch
gotta
it.
look that up.
You gotta watch it.
Let's
It's
look
so
up
good.
J.
Okay.
Cole Rolling Loud. I think it was 2 years ago.
He performed in the rain. Just
Yeah.
it
As
just
as soon as he
down.
started performing, you just see rain coming down, and he's doing like a 30-minute set, 40-minute set.
It was
It
great.
just
Oh
gets
shit!
heavier as he's performing.
It was great.
Wow.
It
Okay.
was amazing.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm never mad at him for
Body
But-
beats.
Yeah, I'm never mad at him for putting down a verse. And
Me either. I just feel like Cole's record shouldn't be the best song on your album. Like,
well, when you have
Yeah.
talented friends.
sure, but I feel like if I have an album coming out and I'm like, hey Josh, come bless this record, and I barely say anything on the record, it's Josh's record, and that's the best
Yeah.
on my album.
Yeah, like let's meet each other with the same energy, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like if you're gonna be at your highest point, then I should be
Mhm.
there too. Like we should be able to meet each other at that same place,
Yeah, like what
Like-
happens to
like,
Steve Sharp and Steel?
like God did.
Like God did.
Oh God.
That-
Yeah.
A good example of that,
Yes.
where like
Yeah.
everybody showed up. Everybody,
Yeah.
like you could tell that they were kind of throwing around, like we don't know whose verse went first, but we could tell that whoever went first, everybody followed suit. Like that was
Right.
that was very obvious there. So, or it could have just been a situation where it was like, oh wait, so Jay's gonna
Hove
be
is gonna be on it.
Or-
Yeah.
Wayne is gonna be on this. Like, yeah. So, I mean,
And I think the other thing is we don't get this Drake often. The Drake we expected when we saw Cole and Drake and pressed play. Whether you went
Yeah.
directly to the record or it came on through the album, once you knew, hey, wait a minute, my ears hear J. Cole. Because this is what you hear as soon as the song comes on. And so once you hear, oh shit, J. Cole. Wait, this is Drake's album. Oh, this is about to be the flyest, lyrical, bar you to death, maybe even some Jada and Styles P back and forth shit ever.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. And it's like, wait, what? Why not? And
I mean,
then,
when was the last time that Drake has really done that?
well, and that leads me
Like,
to my next point, which is, and then
mhm.
you say, okay, maybe he was saving it for the timestamp. Maybe he was saving it for 8 a.m.
In Charlotte.
But he didn't. Because 8 a.m. in Charlotte is by far the weakest timestamp song of them all.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's not, it shouldn't even have a timestamp. No, I'm not, listen, the beat is amazing. It's a great fucking beat. Probably one of the better beats from the timestamp songs. Because the timestamp songs are infamous for being a very simple beat to highlight and focus on Drake's lyrical and flow performance. This was the opposite. This was a great fucking beat, and Drake just like, yeah, you know, when I went to Miami, you know, you ruined it. You threw the luggage around the room. When we were in Houston, you threw a fit. Nigga, what are you doing?
Yeah, nah, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's definitely one of the weakest because
I don't
usually,
know, but like, which one even comes close? Because, let me put my coffee down. They're all fire. So, if it's like, which
yeah,
one even comes, like, how do you
I don't.
measure
I don't
where,
know
like, this
because
is
you're right.
automatically at the bottom?
No, you're right because usually, I mean, with timestamp songs, you're usually thinking, "Damn!" Like when you hear it, you're like, "Yo, I gotta hear this again. I gotta hear this again. I gotta hear
Come
this again."
on.
And you're usually putting it like at the top. This is more like it's not that I don't think it's horrible. Like I don't think it's a horrible song or a horrible like freestyle that he's doing on it. But it's definitely something where I'm like, like I kind of would want to hear somebody else on this beat. Like I want to hear the beat. Like I think the beat is really good, like you said.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to hear something different. I didn't really hear anything good.
It was just,
Um,
maybe, correct me if I'm wrong. To me, it was just the same as every other track on the album.
no, I'm not
Nothing,
gonna say that.
nothing,
That I'm not
nothing
gonna say.
on. Go ahead, sorry.
That I'm not gonna say. I mean, like if you mean that as it's not as memorable, like it's not a memorable track, then maybe. But like if you're
No,
gonna
no,
say
I
like
mean
it,
subject matter.
oh yeah. The whole, I mean, the whole album is, I mean, it's just Drake talking. I mean, he's talking like hot shit, which I mean, I guess you could say he's always done. Like he's talking hot shit. He's talking about, him with women, all of his escapades and whatnot. And yeah, that's what he's doing. But I mean, Drake is not that kid, you know, imitating like if he's from Houston when he really isn't. And like he's not, it's not from the Thank Me Later era. He's not hungry like that. He's just talking about flying women out, talking about his love of BBLs. Like that's just what it is.
It's like he's
And honestly, I've accepted it. I've accepted it. Like I'm not out here getting upset about it. Like, some people have been getting upset about it. I just kind of feel like it is what it is. Like I don't expect a lot of this shit from Drake. Like I would want like greatness out of him, but he's kind of already showed me that he's not really, he doesn't really give a shit. Like he's coasting.
well. That's why I feel like I've outgrown Drake. I think that
Hmm.
I've grown, but he hasn't,
Hmm.
and that's fine. You know,
Right.
that's it is what it is. I think I said when the last album dropped, I think I said on the podcast that I just feel like him and I are not on the same page anymore, and that's
Hmm.
okay. And I can appreciate music like that. I don't necessarily like to say that I'm not to call Joe Budden's name. I'm not trying to say
Mm.
that I think that um, I can't find interest or that can't resonate with me. I just feel like
Right.
with Drake, I'm not I'm not moved by any of it anymore. It's kind of just like, oh,
Right.
it happened. Oh, he made this. Okay, I'll listen, and I'll talk about it. But I really don't. I really don't care. I don't think it's. Again, I don't think it's that I can't find interest in it. There's plenty of things. There's plenty of artists out there who make music that they're saying something completely different from what I understand or I am used to, and I'm still able to appreciate it. I just feel
Hmm.
like something about I don't know, it's weird. It's like even the reference that people think is about Rihanna. I mean,
It's pretty clear it's about Rihanna.
I mean, but no one has said it was like Drake has not said that it was about Rihanna, so we've made an assumption that it is, and I think it's a
Yeah.
strong assumption, right? But
Hmm.
it's like okay, like I liked Hungry Drake. I liked the Drake that was actually like really trying to work for it, and you know,
And we're never gonna get that. I mean, I
no,
don't know if it's even really confirmed, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a billionaire at this point. Like he's just talking about he is talking about what he's going through, but the thing that he's going through is something that a lot of us can't compare to or relate to, you know?
yeah, it's
It's
like
like
his
he's a bachelor. That's it. That's really all he's talking about.
right, and it's like his sense of reality is very different from the average person at this point, and so I don't really know
Right.
what I'm supposed to get out of his music anymore.
Watch it. Like honestly, it's I'm getting the from this album, I'm getting the same amount of value I was getting out of Her Loss, which I really like Her Loss. Especially, I think part of the thing that drove my interest with Her Loss too was, 21. But even with this album, oh, and I actually technically Yachty, because Yachty really inspired Her Loss, and you can also tell some of the songs off of this that was from Yachty. I think Yachty has five credits on the album, and
Yeah.
I mean, like, what was one of the what would Pluto do? That's which weird. There's no future feature on that. But what would Pluto do? That's basically Jumbo Shit Poppin' version 2, and that was on Her Loss, and that was something that I think Yachty wrote or like he had a lot of his hands in. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of like it's a lot of new shit again, like with Joe hanging with the kids and whatnot. Like it's a lot of the new like fun stuff where he's just shit popping. He's talking hot shit, and that's just something where for me, I take and I like some of it.
Mhm.
Am I looking for this immaculate body of work, or am I looking for 444? Because honestly, I really think a lot of people are looking for Drake to do a 444, and I think that shit is dumb, and I think that's not really fair. I don't think that just because Hove came out with 444, you need to expect a 444 from everybody. Like that's just
And that
not a
album
thing.
is overrated.
That's another conversation for another day. We could have that though. But like, yeah, I think for this album, I get like I have 10 favorite tracks that I'm taking away from this album, and I
Okay.
really do like them. And I can tell you right now, out of the 10, I'm not looking at all of them as like this big thing. The only two technically is 8 a.m. in Charlotte, and that's like and first person shooter. Everything else is just fun. Like that's all I'm getting from it. And I think that's okay. I think that part of the reason why people are even, getting on Drake for this is because people do hold Drake to a certain standard because we have seen what Drake can do. And I get you. It's just that I've kind of just let it go already. Like I'm not expecting that anymore. It's easier that way.
Well, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's like I don't know. I was trying to think of an artist that I just, you know, don't really like what they're talking about. Doesn't mean anything to me. But
Future.
let's use let's use a white woman
Oh, okay.
because I feel like for me that's like very shocking. Like people hear like
Wait, T Swift? Are we going to T Swift route?
I was gonna say. Now,
Okay,
I haven't
Swifty.
listened to anything new that Taylor Swift has maybe
Hmm.
about a decade ago, I was very
Hmm.
much like a pop girly. I didn't listen to all. I've never listened to a Taylor Swift album. I have
Right.
never listened to a full Lady Gaga album or whatever. But
Right.
I knew all of their singles. I
Hmm.
used to
Hmm.
make playlists with just the white girls, and I would listen to their stuff. I don't really do that now.
Right.
Even though I will be going to see the Taylor Swift movie, the concert movie.
Really?
I have to
Oh.
take Gabby. No one else wants to.
Okay. So I hope you then like to balance it out, you take it to the Beyonce
Yeah,
movie
definitely
documentary.
going to
Okay.
see
All
Beyonce.
right, cool. Just a little bit of balance,
Right. I'm going to Taylor Swift more because of Gab, not because of me. But because
Okay.
I'd never listened to the new album, so I don't know what value I'm getting out of it.
Right.
But
Right.
I bring them up too, and I bring her up to say, I don't identify with Taylor Swift in any way.
Hmm.
Like, there's
Hmm.
me and her are not the same. Like, we don't have anything in common as far as I know.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
bops. If it's a bop, then fine. Why not?
Right.
I can have fun and I can appreciate the fun, the spirit of the record, and
Right.
you know,
Right.
move on with life. But
Right.
so I feel like that's a good example just because it is that far fetched for me to
Hmm.
care about what any of those girls are doing.
Hmm.
But that's one of I would say she's one of the ones where it's like, oh, okay, well, if I hear it, I'm not gonna turn it off. It's not gonna bother me. Like, I might even
Right.
dance. I might even give it a little, give it a little shimmy or something.
Right.
I also
Right.
figured out while we were sitting here talking why there were balloons. It's because I mentioned Drake's birthday.
Nope.
It was birthday. It was definitely birthday.
Happy birthday. No, nothing. Okay. I don't know.
But it was that because that's what
I
the
mean,
idea.
I believe you. Tech likes to make people look like liars. It's okay.
Yeah,
It sure
I believe
made
does.
me look like a liar. But that was why.
you.
That was why I realized it as we were sitting here that that's exactly why the balloons happened. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of other artists that I could think of, but that's the one that stands out. It's like I
Hmm.
don't. We don't like the same type of men. We're not the same age. Like, there's a whole
Hmm.
long list of like
Right.
different things that I could say, but I can appreciate the music. So I understand the appeal of Drake. I also think that you made a point that stood out to me before where you said, you grew up with them, right? Like him and
Hmm.
Kendrick and whatever. So I think we find ourselves um in those moments where we're like, okay, this is an artist that I kind of grew with to a certain point and I know what they can do versus what
Hmm.
they're doing now, and so you're still able to appreciate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of just thrown my hands up when it comes to Drake, honestly, and I'm just like,
Same.
I just don't. I think maybe he's just not it for me anymore. But
He's just not the same. He's not the same guy, and I also think that it's okay. You
yeah,
know, it is what it
I
is.
don't think it's okay because he and his best buddy J. Cole keep on saying that he's number one in rap. You cannot be number one in rap phoning it in for however many years. And
Mm.
that's my beef. He has made mediocrity okay. He has made it very clear for quite some time that he
Hmm.
has zero interest in putting his best efforts forward. And a
Yeah.
Drake fan just said that to us. And that is the problem. No one else in hip hop history who says, I'm number one, and who says people need to recognize me as the GOAT has ever done that and been able to get away with it. Not Biggie, not Pac, not Nas, not Jay.
Nah, they put out mediocre stuff. That's not true.
They were called out for it when they were
Yeah.
saying, but that's what I'm saying. Drake continues to say I'm number one while putting out mediocre shit. The other people, when they start putting out mediocre shit, and they were
Hmm.
called out on it, it was like, oh, niggas is calling me out. I'm gonna have to get my shit together. Let me get my shit together. But 5 albums
Do
later,
you think Drake doesn't realize that he's mediocre?
that is my point. Drake does realize he's
You
mediocre.
think he
Drake
realizes?
is purposely mediocre,
You
and
think he's
Drake
doing
is
this on purpose?
yes, because we have heard from comeback season to overly dedicated to all of these other things from when Drake first came out that Drake is a capable lyricist, a person who can switch flows on demand, a person who is a great songwriter. We know that Drake is very capable, and that's why I say I'm not the biggest fan. Because to say, hey, I can, it's like saying, hey, we know when Christopher Nolan puts out a film, he's capable
Hmm.
of directing an amazing film. But instead of doing that, he gives us 10 tenets in a row. Why the fuck would we keep watching Tenet 10 times in a row? We wouldn't. We would say Christopher
Well,
Nolan needs to stop making films, and this is some bullshit we're boycotting. But Drake doesn't get that treatment. When Jay dissed Nas and said, Nas, you've been putting out mediocre shit, guess what Nas did after that? He said, oh, okay. That's what's
I
happening,
mean,
putting out mediocre shit.
what I
Okay,
would say is
let me
there's
fix
different
that.
rule, different time, different rules, and like, and I'm not saying
I,
that I like it. I'm just saying that I accept that that's just what it is. We might want more from Drake. We might want that, but it's different time, different rules, and not for nothing. We also have to be like when we talk about when we have the GOAT conversation, what are we talking about here? Are we just talking about like rap skills and like in the the type of content that they're putting out? Because if we're gonna have the GOAT conversation or like in rap, I mean, there's always gonna be the argument for Drake, and because we're not in the days anymore where like we're just talking about you having lyrical miracle, all that. Like we're not talking
oh
about that
no.
anymore. It's not just that. So I think that there is even an argument to make that, yeah, look, Drake can shit on a track and and it'll just do numbers. Like he is one of the goats because of that reason.
But
I'm not saying I like it. Say that again.
that's just labels and money.
Well, no. See, when you say label, okay, hold on. Here's the thing. Drake can shit on a track and it's still gonna do numbers because he knows what people like. He knows what's popping, and he also has a team around him and people around him to help facilitate that. Yachty being around him is it's facilitating all of that. He always gets everybody who knows what they're doing. Like what every single album he has a new sound, and it's usually done by somebody who's popping. Take Care was what? The Weekend. Nothing Was the Same was Magic Jordan with Hold On. I think it's Hold On, We're Going Home. He got the dude who got beat up by Meek's Camp to do If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Like he gets all of these different people. Oh, and also there's always a Party Next Door feature, which I want to say that Party Next Door feature was really good. It's my guy. So like
I
he always
I
it's
did like that one.
listen, members only has cringe bars, but Party Next Door is just like it's a chef's kiss. But look, I'm just saying that with Drake, he knows what people want. He knows what the kids want. He's not gonna give it to everybody doesn't want the same thing. So not everybody's gonna be happy, especially old niggas. It's just not gonna happen. Especially old niggas. They're not gonna want that, and it's okay. It's fine to let it go. Personally, me, I'm popping a jumbo shit popping. I like that track. I'm still like I can still do that. And at the same time, I also like the hard going tracks whenever he actually can go hard on a track. I like what was it, 4 p.m. in Calabasas. Again, I like first person shooter. I think he could have done better on it, but I'm not expecting all of that rapidy rap ass shit from Drake because it's just not what it is. And I think you can still have the conversation about him being a GOAT. Again, two different conversations if we want to talk about who's the better rapper and who puts out better rap shit. But I think like overall, like he knows what he's doing with all of it. And I also don't think it's fair when we do that. But like I feel like we take everything into consideration when we talk about Hove. Because with Hove, we are absolutely talking about everything. We're talking about money, we're talking about business, we're talking about everything. But we pick and choose when it comes to other people. And I do think that Drake is one of them, where I don't even want to be defending him, but I really do feel like people pick and choose about if you're the GOAT and we're going to include this, but not with Drake, we can only talk about this.
No, no. Okay, as a failed rapper, I think as a failed
Damn,
rapper,
failed? Yeah, that's, I mean,
I'm a failed rapper. As a failed rapper and a failed podcaster, no, I'm just kidding. I think that the GOAT conversation is all encompassing of music, not your business, not your money. That
hmm
shit has nothing to do with music. The
okay,
GOAT in any music category, pop, rock, R&B, rap, whatever category you want, it cannot just be lyrics. It cannot just be that you can dance. It's like you said, it's all encompassing. And
right. Got to
so,
make good songs.
yes, all, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's all encompassing. So, but it's everything
hmm
that has to do with music. And to me, I say this up here a lot. I think the best artists are balanced. Period. No matter who they are. Again,
hmm
rock, pop, R&B, whatever, right? Like if you're an
hmm
R&B artist but all you sing is sad songs, you can't be the GOAT because you just do sad. You might be the GOAT at
Okay.
sad, like
Yeah.
stop like to me, Styles P is the best gangster rapper ever. To me. To me,
Okay.
nobody can hold a candle to Styles P. But when I say Styles P is the best hip hop artist ever, hell no. He does gangster rap.
Right.
Now,
Right.
and that's what I'm saying. Now, if we said Drake is the best hip hop artist ever, that's the conversation he is having, his peers are having, the culture is having. Well, then we have to count all of the things that he does. No, not business.
hmm
Business should not be a part of it, but
hmm
songwriting, flow, lyrics, discography, all of these things, that's how it is across the board. A lot of people say like NBA 2K or Madden, right? Those
hmm
attributes that come up on the screen, speed, uh, ball control, whatever, it's going to change by sport. And so it should change by musical category as well. Like, we can't have the
hmm
same stuff for Mary J. Blige as Jay Z, right? Mary J. Blige needs
Right.
vocal range. Jay Z doesn't need vocal range. Jay Z needs flow. Mary J. Blige doesn't need flow.
hmm
So what I'm saying is that's kind of how I think it has to go, right? I
Okay.
don't give a fuck about your accolades. Outkast just hit 13 million records, most hip hop sales ever on one album. But a lot of people don't even have them in the conversation, which is a different conversation for a different time. But my
Yeah.
point is that that chart, if you will, that's what has to be compared for everyone, right? And that's to me what separates the true greats from everyone else, because the true greats, they have everything or close to everything. And I'm not saying 100 in everything. That's not what I'm saying. But
hmm
okay, they've got 70s and 80s and 90s and hundreds, where
hmm
everyone else, they don't really got all of those categories. Again, with a Styles P's gangster rap ability is on 100. Drake's
Right.
might be at 2, but they're still in two very different categories and
Right.
levels in the tier. And so that's what I think. And I agree it should be fair. So I agree people do like to choose, and I always say that's a problem. What is the
Right.
requirement? We have to use that requirement for everyone. And it's the same thing with the top 5. Oh, let's have a top 5 argument. Okay, wait. What are the requirements we're going by?
Right.
Then we can have the conversation. And so I think Drake is saying, I'm the greatest hip hop artist of all time. Well, there's a lot of hip hop artists. And so if you're going to keep saying that, and if your peers are going to keep saying, hey, we're
hmm
number one right now, okay, cool. But then we have to be able to compare bar for bar. And I don't mean lyrical bar, I mean those attributes. We have to be able to compare songwriting ability, flow, all these different things,
I
your
I
entire
agree.
discography. That's what we have to be able to compare bar for bar, in my opinion.
I agree.
Go
Now
ahead.
go on, D.
Agreed. I was just gonna say that Drake reminds me of
A girl you used to.
no. Well, Drake reminds me of when you watch
You know the barrettes. I thought maybe
listen, them damn hair clips that he got going on.
Yo, he's actually stealing Smino's. There's an artist named Smino. He's stealing his whole entire look. Like Smino has been doing the hair like the basically like the pigtails like
Yeah.
that with the long fro and everything. Yeah, that was Smino's whole look. Like if you Google
On
Smino,
the
you'll see.
attributes, Drake's thievery bar is at 100.
Oh, listen.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's not even like he can teach a master class on how to like adopt or be like a real life like Pokemon Ditto and just
Yeah.
transform into anybody.
And listen, don't feel bad. Jay-Z's is at like 95.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jay-Z
Yeah, no, all of them.
morphed into many people over
Yeah.
the years.
Absolutely.
No, I was just gonna say, in my mind, as I'm trying to process this information, it makes me think about like when you have your favorite TV show. Like, let's say there's a random TV show. First season was great. Like, just nothing was wrong with it. It was exciting. It was all of the things that you require. You get to the
Right.
season finale and you can't wait for the next season to come. And then the next season comes, and the next season is great too, and you're really excited and you're super thrilled and you want to keep going. And then season 3 or season 4 comes along and you're like, this got weird. I feel like that's Drake. I feel like we had like this run with him and we got all excited and we got riled up and then we got to a point where it was like things got weird. Like it's almost like when the writers don't know what to write anymore, or like, Drake just kind of got to this point where he had to reconfigure or had to like, I don't know, find himself.
Somebody said that Drake's writers were also on strike as well at the making of this album.
I like
that's why it's a little bit,
Well,
No, that was good. I like your TV show comparison. My question to both of you is this. If you're watching a show, same example, the first 2-3 seasons are fire, but the next 5 are not. Do you still keep watching that show? No.
me personally, yes.
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. If I've been with a show for a long time, I'm probably gonna like just stick to it. Or even if I'm not like dedicated to it, I'm gonna check in once in a while to see, okay, is there anything here that's going on? All right. But
And then my follow-up question is, would you dare ever say this is the best show ever?
I mean, no. But
I don't think that's the same thing. I don't think you can use that as like I can say at one point in time yes, and if they kept up with the same quality, but I also think
But it
that
hasn't. We've already established it hasn't kept the same quality.
it hasn't, but I also think that there's still, like you said, there's different meters that you would use to judge it, and I think that in music, especially hip hop, I don't think that I think you can dip in quality and you can still have the argument for being the GOAT. I honestly do think so. I'm not even saying he is the GOAT. I just think that you can make an argument of like I definitely think that you can make an argument about Drake being the GOAT.
I hear you. I disagree, but that's okay.
who is the greatest rapper of all time?
What are
that-
the
I don't-
requirements? That's the question. That's where we got to start. That's the base. What are
I
the
hate that
requirements?
conversation. I hate that conversation, honestly.
I didn't expect anybody to answer.
Oh,
I was
well,
just being
I always do that on purpose because a lot of
because I know that nobody likes to answer that question.
I like
It's too hard. It's just too much shit to like it would have to basically be a podcast, like a podcast episode just on that. Like we would have to like go in the lab and
in itself. Like
Yeah.
I think that's a whole podcast that it just examines like what makes them great and like how.
Yeah.
Let me not give people my ideas, but I think that's really smart. I don't know. I can't answer the question myself, but
a lot of people like to use the things that their favorite artist is good at. And so, for example, someone will know, I'm going to use an example. Someone will say, well, Eminem is the greatest ever because he's got all the highest record sales. And so that's an argument, sure. But you know who's saying that? the guy who loves Eminem. That's who's saying
Yeah.
that. When Jay-Z was the favorite, a lot of people are like, oh, but you know the Annie record, everybody knows it. It sold 5 mil. Did your favorite artist sell 5 mil? It's because you're a Jay-Z fan who's saying that. Same thing. Tupac went
Right.
diamond with All Eyes on Me. What do Tupac fans say? Hey, you know, we went diamond. Did your artist go diamond? When the record sales thing is all we rely on, well, then everything else goes away, and I think that's stupid. And then that's
Yeah.
another conversation. It's like saying the greatest person in basketball is just the person with the most rings. Well, then really, the guy who's the best, you don't even probably know his name. He's not really in
Yeah.
the debates because Robert Ory has 8 rings, and nobody mentions Robert Ory.
Right.
No, that's true.
So
I I just
that's why
think
I
that
always say, what are the requirements? Because once we have a base, then we can
yeah.
have an actual intellectual conversation. Whatever it is, if the three of us say, hey, we're going to go by record sales, charisma, and album covers. That's weird as fuck, but okay. Now we can start the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Well.
agree. I
Oh.
mean, I do think that. No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I I don't even. I would have to look at. I have to look at it to see what's my top five. I always feel like talking about your top five is always the best because it's just there's so many different criteria that anybody could put to it. It's hard to make an objective top five.
Agreed.
But I don't even know if Drake. I mean, maybe Drake is in my top five. I don't even know. I don't. I would have to really go over that. Kendrick is definitely in my top five personally, but like Drake, I don't know. Maybe.
Quick question before we wrap. What's your
Mm.
favorite Drake album? I don't think we know.
Uh, it's so it's definitely. Actually, I really don't know. It's between Take Care and If You're Reading This,
Okay.
but over the years, I think Views have gotten so much better to me. Like I felt Views was very meh when it was coming out. Like it was super hype. And then Views, again, just like what Dion said, the opener, Keep the Family Close, that shit is immaculate. Just like even the production on it, that shit is immaculate. Um, the
I love.
sample, I think it was Fire and Desire on it. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that sampled I think sampled Brandy. He also sampled Ray J as well with I forgot what it was. Like that Views is creeping in there. So I feel like over time Views has been getting into like top 3 Drake album. But I think Take Care because again, we're talking about like college days for me and I think that that is just an inherent bias that I have. So for Take Care, that era just like early 20s. Yeah, Take Care is definitely like my top Drake album.
Okay. I was just curious because we've had you on here a bunch of times, but we've never asked you that.
Oh yeah, I mean like look, I'll say this about Drake. Drake was like my my interest in Drake has gone up and down over years. Like it's definitely fluctuated. I think like Summer 16 was probably the most hype and probably the number one time I was really really into Drake. I thought like he was the GOAT.
That's when I
Say
saw.
that again?
I think that's the general consensus.
Yeah. I mean, that was when he was like, that was real big shit popping. That was when, he basically went against Meek, talking Summer 16, Summer 16. I remember I had tickets, I had VIP tickets to go to that concert with Future. But I couldn't go for some reasons that we won't get into today. But like it was that was a hell of a time. And I think again, Drake does a lot of corny shit. He does a lot of corny shit that I'm just roll my eyes at. I do think that he was coming at Rihanna a couple times, especially because I think there's a bar somewhere where he was like, "I'm pretty Flacco. This shit really gets rocky," or so. I forgot what song he said that on.
I mean, there's
I think it
also like
was
7 anti lines in a row.
right. And when I first heard anti, I was like, he's like, "Yeah, I'm anti. I'm anti." I'm like, okay, maybe he is talking about Rihanna. And because of that one I ain't pretty Flacco. This shit gets really rocky. I'm pretty sure he was talking about Rihanna. But I feel like stuff like that is corny. I feel like the comments that he was making about Meg, corny. Like I think he does a lot of corny shit, and I think he's okay with that because at the end of the day, women are going to be the number one thing that protects Drake. Women will always protect Drake. I mean, like
Yeah.
what he did with Sexy Red, putting her on tour, putting her on the album, Kikiing with SZA, that type of shit will always protect Drake. It doesn't matter what bullshit he does because the women will keep him up. It doesn't matter if he makes this song for all the dogs, for dogging out women. It doesn't matter because
Yeah.
women love Drake, girls love Drake, and I think that's the number one thing keeping him alive, honestly. And then again, like he'll have his rapidy rap songs sometimes and have his um more like new school shit that that he's getting influenced by Yachty. Um, but at the moment, for me, Drake is he's cool. Like I'm not like looking at him as the biggest and best person. He's cool.
Mhm.
I get what I need, and I'm good.
Got it.
I dig that. I dig that.
Yeah,
Okay.
You know.
All right, Josh. Anything else before we say bye bye?
No, I just want to say that, I was one of the people who liked views from the beginning. I know a lot of people didn't,
that's true.
but
That's true. I remember that.
I always loved views. I always thought it was great. And yes, keep the family close.
I don't even know
When
what that is.
when that beat drops, I'll play it after. But
It's a really I mean you got to play that even with headphones because it's the production on Keep the Family Close is really really good. It's weird because I think when he dropped If You're Reading This Is Too Late, everybody's like, oh shit, like this is what Drake's doing. Like he's really rapping, he's coming with these flows and Views is definitely different from that. And I think also him coming off the Meek beef, people were expecting something in particular and it was definitely different. But I still think that Views aged good. There's still some songs that's a little bit like pop style um
I mean,
and a couple other songs, but that wasn't that good. But I think as a whole, that album definitely aged gracefully.
yeah.
But Rihanna definitely gave him the worst version because that was around the time when Work came out, and he got "I'm Too Good for You." That's all, too good,
Yeah.
and I don't think that was that good. I mean, it does what it needs to do, but
Yeah. I mean, it did what it needed to do. It did.
yeah,
It played on the radio and all of that. So,
absolutely.
well, I think that's all I have about Drake. I'm about Draked out at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I could and also we didn't even mention that he did say he's gonna take a break from music for a while.
Right? He did.
Uh
He's gonna take
He's
a
got to.
year
He's
off.
got to deal with that stomach.
Yeah.
yeah, whatever was oh yeah, I mean,
Got some kind of
I
stomach issue. Doctor Miami.
maybe it's from
Uh,
yeah, I was about to say maybe it's from his tummy tuck. I don't know. It could be
right.
that.
See,
It could
he
be that.
knows.
I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
really know much
Yeah,
about
I
the tummy
told.
tuck.
She didn't know,
Yeah.
but I told her one day Drake just showed up with a six pack, and everybody was like, "Hey, where the six pack come from?"
I mean that plus you usually know if somebody had some surgery when you look at their belly button and some of those pictures of his belly button that shit was looking kind of weird like it was off to the side or something like leaning but
You see?
uh,
I,
You see, the
yeah
Drake fans know.
listen,
I was telling her that when that announcement was made, I'm like,
I was a fan.
immediately, because she told me before I even heard about it. And Dee was like,
mm,
oh, yeah, and Drake's taking a break. I was like, oh, that's good. She's like, yeah, because his stomach is sick or something. I was like, oh, probably from the fake abs.
possibly
And she was like, what are you talking about? What fake abs? I'm
yeah
like, you don't
I think
know?
he might have got it etched in a little bit I don't know and I've actually seen um ain't nobody who I'm gonna like mention on here because they're nobody but like I've seen this person on the internet who actually did that shit for real like I think he went super hard with it and you could do that you could actually surgically do it in a way where like they take the fat out but then they etch your skin so it look like you have abs so that's
that,
the thing
that's troubling.
And then you got to take a year off from
yeah
music. You know what I mean?
That's
So
yeah
don't
I hope he takes a good long time off because
do it.
people do say like he's pretty good for even having this much like for putting out this much music rapidly and I do think that that's also should be considered in the conversation of him being the go of being as consistent as he's been. Not saying it's been perfect, but being that consistent over
No,
time.
his output
Um,
is definitely strong. There's no
yeah,
doubt about that.
right,
No,
right.
he's been
He's
extremely consistent for 15 years. That I have no
right,
problem. Listen, I'm a harsh critic, but I also keep it real. Like
right.
if
No,
you suck,
I hear you.
you suck. But if you did some fly shit, hey, you did some fly shit. I can't, As a failed rapper, all I got is,
I do appreciate you guys having me on. It's been real talking about Drizzy,
anytime. We
but
appreciate you being our Drake and Sexy Red correspondent.
And I really
I'm
had
for the
no.
sexy red supremacy. I'm for the sexy red movement.
I see.
Even
We
though,
know.
like,
That's
she
why
she
you're our
needs to make.
Sexy Red
I do
correspondent.
think she needs to make a little bit better decisions now that she's she's turning into a really big star. But yeah,
I don't know
she,
what the Instagram you're talking about.
uh, you know,
Right.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, no, I really do appreciate it. And again, we should do this again some other time.
We'll see you next Drake album.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to talk to y'all again, but hopefully the next Drake album is not that close. I need some time. Like let me miss some
You and
Drake.
him both.
Yeah, yeah.
But Josh,
All
always a
right,
pleasure. Thank you again. Oh,
it's
tell
been
them where to
real.
follow you, man.
Oh, damn, I don't really do the social media
All right, then
promotion
forget
stuff
it.
like that.
Never mind.
All right,
Petty
nah, so
boy,
just follow me on Instagram, follow me on More of Josh. You can find me there, and then also you can possibly maybe find me on Twitter, where Twitter is a whole nother thing, or
X.
X. More of
Oh,
Josh to
Dash
be.
says hold on.
Oh, okay,
I don't know.
holding.
Right,
But
holding.
yeah, you can find me there. That's pretty much where I just I mostly just post stories. I don't really be posting the real posts. Or
You're
sometimes you might find me doing uh cute joint posts with my girlfriend who does social media and possibly our future dog. So
holler.
Adios, muchachos.
Yo, that would be the funniest ending. Should we do that? All right, that's it. It's a wrap. Thank you for being here. See y'all next time.